Hey there everyone, welcome back to another Game Vault video. As always, I'm Captain Beefy with the Game Vault. We're going to talk about Helldivers 2 today and how the director slams DEI in gaming. I guess he says, make good games, not political statements. Let's cue it to music and we'll go ahead and talk about this. All right, so before we get into this article, I remember a couple of months ago, like shortly after the game was released, there was some nonsense going on. I think it was in their Discord server with one of their mods, or maybe a couple of their mods, kind of being a-holes to players and banning people left and right who were pushing against DEI and stuff like that. So I believe in the end they ended up cleaning those guys out, getting rid of them and all that, but for a while there was a little bit of radio silence, and it seemed like that sort of behavior was being tolerated. I don't remember the whole story there. It's been a while, and a lot's happened since then. If you remember the story, let me know down in the comments below. But let's see what's going on here. In a move that has ignited conversations around the gaming community, Johan Pilestedt, the creative director behind Helldivers 2, has taken a firm stance against incorporating diversity, equity, and inclusion, aka DEI, initiatives into games when they detract from the player experience. Well, hallelujah, it's about time somebody does that. His comments come amidst a broader industry debate over the role of social and political themes in games development. It's such utter nonsense that we're having this conversation on a daily basis. But anyway, he says, well, actually, Annex says, never add DEI to your games, and Pilestedt replies, if it doesn't add to a game experience, it detracts. And games should be a pure pursuit of amazing moments. And there's a lot of fact in this. This works in stories too. If you're writing a story, making a movie or something like this, every scene, every line, every character should drive the story forward. It should contribute to it somehow. Because if it doesn't, it does. It just takes away from it. So, adding in these messages, adding in this preachiness and all this other nonsense is horrible. And it does detract from the experience. Nothing's worse. And it can really pull you out of a fun game. And sometimes it's the silliest thing. And you may think, oh, you're just being a snowflake and all that. And quite honestly, it's not that. It's just you get tired of it. It's quite exhausting to find this crap everywhere you go. Case in point, I played a game called Pacific Drive last year. A fantastic roguelike game. Takes place in the 90s. You're driving this car through the Pacific Northwest. And, it's this weird, mysterious, crazy game. I loved it. I thought it was absolutely fun. A lot of good times and all that. You get to these a part of the game where you get to do this customization and all that. You never see yourself as a character. You never see any other human beings. You talk to a few people on the radio. 3 people, I think, overall is the amount of people you talk to. Well, when you get to customization of the car, all of a sudden you unlock the ability to do that. You unlock a ton of flags. And guess what? They're all freaking LGBT flags with a Black Lives Matter flag thrown in for good measure. I'm surprised there wasn't an ISIS flag as well. Not only that, but we find out that 33% of the characters that you're talking to are homosexual. And it's just like, come on, guys. Just why? It was unnecessary for the story, and it actually detracted from the game, especially the flag part. That stuff didn't exist in the 90s. There was no flags. It was kind of like immersion breaking, and you can say what you want about it. I really don't care, but it's stupid and it just didn't belong there and it was annoying. So anyway, responding to a fan's suggestion on X, like you said, it detracts from games. Pilestedt's philosophy centers on prioritizing player immersion and enjoyment over adherence to external political or social narratives. Drew says, how would DEI have benefited Helldivers 2? And Pilestedt says, I don't like labels, but mankind is united in its extreme xenophobia on Super Earth. Inclusion, so maybe that's DEI. I really don't care. Make good games, don't make a contemporary political statement. When questioned about the political beliefs, that's what he said, Make good games, don't make a contemporary political statement. Now, these remarks have drawn both praise and criticism, with some gamers applauding his focus on quality gameplay, while others argue for the importance of representation in modern media. The Helldivers franchise, known for its satirical depiction of intergalactic warfare and humanity's unrelenting expansionism, is inherently political, though Paustet's comments suggest he believes such themes should serve the narrative rather than contemporary agendas. Industry veteran Mark Kern, aka Grums on X, who previously led the World of Warcraft team, weighed in on Paustet's statements. He pointed out that the gaming community's resistance to overtly political content in games is gaining traction. Before, this would have never been discussed. It would have been ignored, buried. The fact that legacy media is picking up on this means the Overton window has shifted, Grum said on X. He then went further, praising the gaming community for pushing back against what he calls political propaganda in games. We will continue to push against political propaganda that ruins games, he said. We will continue to be heard. Now, since Helldivers 2 launched in early 2024, the game has been a contentious battleground between the two opposing forces of the gamer culture war. Controversies erupted back in the spring when segments of the audience were demanding cosmetic capes be added to the game featuring ideologically driven flags. This was staunchly opposed by many, leading to contentious arguments throughout social media. The game also had issues with community managers banning players from Helldivers 2 Discord server for using the vomit emoji at what they felt were inappropriate moments. Oh, I remember. That's what we're talking about earlier. Helldivers 2 community manager Catherine Baskin declared back in April the game is pretty woke and revealed the game was banning individuals she and the developer Arrowhead Games deemed bigots. Aye, Baskin. Anyway, yeah. So didn't they ban people from their Discord for suggesting they added LGBT colored capes? No, we only ban bigots, transphobes, homophobes, racists, yada yada, not welcome in the community. We had to restrict the topics in the HD2 general chats for a while because it was triggering massive waves of hate speech, which our staff was struggling with emotionally. That's weakness, Catherine. Are struggling with emotionally. Hate speech. Hate speech. One word there. That's a new thing, I guess. I don't know if that's on purpose or what. But I'm sorry, Catherine. Hate speech is just free speech. You know, you're free to hate whatever you want. You're free to say whatever you want on these kind of things. And 9 times out of 10, that hate speech, when analyzed, is honestly it's just criticism that you don't like. So you label it as hate speech, and then you try to silence the person that's saying it because you don't like it. And that's lame. Anyway, Paustet's comments reflect a growing sentiment among developers and players who feel that video games should prioritize entertainment and creative storytelling over external messaging. Proponents of this approach argue that shoehorning political or social themes into gaming often undermines the artistic vision and alienates players who seek escapism. Now, for many, this debate isn't just about DEI, but about the core purpose of video games, whether they should serve as platforms for political discourse or as immersive escapes from reality. So what do you guys think of Paustet's stance on Helldivers 2? Do you think that DEI should be removed from gaming? I know I do, and if you watch my videos regularly, I'm pretty sure you do too, unless you just hate watch and sit there and rage against me. Yeah, it's utter nonsense. Now, you can put a political message in a game. There is nothing wrong with that. If done with nuance, if done with a little bit of style and all that, it can be an excellent thing. You can do things metaphorically, make something stand for something else and make it work. That's been done throughout history through art, movies, books, video games. It's excellent when people can do that. That's what somebody with talent does. They can go in and they can tell a story and make it mean something else. Look at George Romero with Dawn of the Dead, right? This is a story about a group of people trapped in a mall with a bunch of zombies surrounding it. And it was basically analyzing consumerism, people and consumerism in the United States here, and how people are just, the whole mall culture and all that. And that's what it was looking at. And you look at it, once you understand that and you watch the movie and you go, oh, wow, look at different movies and you can see them in a different light, and you'll see how they can make these kind of statements, and they don't do it. They don't apply this, their point with a hammer. It's not in your face like that. You can have characters that are diverse, but it's not all about what makes them diverse. You can have a character that is black, but that's not all he is. You can have a character that's gay, but that's not his defining feature. That's not what makes him special. That's not what makes that character interesting or worth caring about. I'm watching The Walking Dead right now. I've never watched this series, and Aaron is in the series, gay guy, right? When he first popped up, I'm like, oh, here we go. We got the gay guy and all that. Turning out to be one of my favorite characters. Why? Because this was done before all this DEI nonsense was a thing. He's a character that's gay, but that doesn't define him. He is a survivor just like everyone else. He's lost people. He's fought hard with everybody else. He's not running around gallivanting and waving, painting pride flags on everything and celebrating that kind of bullshit. It's a part of him, just like every other part of him. And that's the way it should be. That way it works. Anyway, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Ring that bell for notifications. I'll see you guys next time. Until then, peace.